driving away from the property that we are... Wait, was I supposed to turn?
Nope.
No. Is that thing going to talk to us, Mark? Are we sure?
Yes, it's supposed to talk to us.
It's supposed to talk to us. Okay.
We'll find out here in another 2 miles.
4.8 miles.
We'll find out whether or not it will. Okay, anyway, so we are... I just decided that I wanted to turn this on so that you guys could be a part of maybe us debriefing what we just experienced and what we were doing today. First of all, I'm like floored because 2 years ago when we launched the Rescue 1,000 Slaves from the Sex Trade Project, it was like we were finishing up the homes for the extreme poor, and my heart was just so burdened with freeing kids out of the sex trade and really wanted to bring that one to the foreground, and we wanted to focus on something in the United States and not just, so much that we've done has been outside the United States, and rightfully so. Like, there's not poverty in America like there is in other places, and there's systems in America to take care of the poor, although there are people that fall through the cracks, and there are horrific levels of poverty, in our country, but nothing like extreme poverty, like in places in Nicaragua, through Central America, Haiti, like things like that. So anyway, so I was just talking to these guys about, like, we kind of all been pretty quiet since we got in here, because it's just mind-blowing. 2 years ago we launched this project, but it's the thing we were talking about, like, man sets plans in his heart, but God ordains his steps.
Mm-hmm.
And that's clearly what happened, so you can pray for something and, not see it ever come to pass. And yet this is something that obviously is, like, lined up with God's heart. And we had to look through hundreds of organizations to try to find people that were honorable, because there's people that are housing kids and trafficking them out the back door.
Right.
And so we needed to find partners, people that would be boots on the ground, that, have experience taking care of these kids and treating them with what we all agree with, which are God's principles. And I don't know, I'm blown away. And then to have this whole virus thing be going on, and so many with fear, and they're just like have lost their faith and lost their sight of who God is. And so projects like this can fall away and not be completed, and yet we've got kids that are soon to be very homeless.
Yes.
So anyway, Pam, I want you to go first. Like, what stands out to you that when you step on that property and that we're doing this, like, what is that to you?
I just had an overwhelming sense of peace. I don't know if I can even describe it. It just seemed like the girls in the past things and what they've gone through, they just need a place of peace, and there's just so much place that they can just go and talk to God. I mean, it's I don't know, it's just, I just sensed an overwhelming peace there, and just God's blessing on the whole place. So much there to work with.
Yeah.
I just realized is that for that land.
Yeah.
There's no debt.
Wow.
There's no debt.
Wow.
There's no debt. That property was paid for in cash. What an amazing thing, and that is going to be with them and for trafficked
and it's
kids.
Gonna be theirs.
Yes.
And it will give them a sense of home.
We're supposed to be turning in a mile.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
We got to show up first. The three of us were first.
Yeah.
And
I guess my sense on the property was that it was so...
Quarter mile, turn right onto US 290 West.
There's so many resources there to work with that allow us to come right on site and do what has to be done without dumping a lot more into the property.
right.
It's fairly level
Turn next right onto US 290 West.
and rolling. pasture land. As Pam said, the setting there is secluded enough so that there can be peace there. There's not a concern with interference or outside
People looking
Continue
stuff.
on US 290 West
So,
for 17 miles.
it's ideal. Yeah.
Well, and you remember on the conference call that we were on 2 weeks ago, where Alyssa and her husband, either one of them, are going to come and plant the garden.
Yes.
And like, can you just picture?
Oh yeah.
Because there is. It's just like so much.
And even just the growth there. There's flowers lining fence lines, and so it's fertile ground.
Yes.
So there's whatever they need to do there to be able to develop skills for the girls as well as make provision for them. It's wonderful.
Exciting.
Yeah.
So how does it feel for you, Mark, that we're doing this? I mean, you're a father. You got 7 kids, sons and daughters, and soon to be 19 grandkids.
The soon to be
Like
20, number
20, soon to be
coming
20.
in August.
Oh my gosh. So what is that like from a man's perspective on the sex trade and these girls that have been, I mean, there's violated, there's abused, and then there's this.
Yeah.
You know?
I believe part of what has been invested in me by the Father is a sense of what his heart is for people in general. But when that's specifically put toward people who are oppressed, our Father elevated womanhood to the place of being the pinnacle of the created work. Beyond the creation of men, he created woman to be able to complete man, and in history, I don't believe there has been any more attacked creation than womanhood. It's been so ravaged and so torn. The height of the created image of the Father in humanity, expressed in womanhood, has come under such vicious attack from the very beginning. And so part of what this means to me is capital letters redemption for specific young ladies, but in general for womanhood, as we have the opportunity to recapture and work alongside of the heart of the Father to be able to redeem some, to be able to allow them to have their identity reestablished in who they actually are under his created hand. And we get to be part of that.
Isn't that amazing?
It's beyond incredible that he has entrusted the privilege for us to represent him and to have a part in that is, wow, it's just so huge. I'm sitting here in a car with 2 ladies who know what ravage means.
Yeah.
Also who know what redemption means.
Yeah.
And the fact that we get hand to however many more